Hey all, my name is Kurt. Here's Trent. Welcome back to SLB Basement Bourbon Bar. And Trenton, today we got a big show.
We do.
Because pretty much anything wild turkey for me is a big show. And then on top of it all, you found the Wild Turkey Master's Keep, the latest release, Unforgotten.
No, I couldn't have done it. Couldn't have done it on my own. This isn't even in Indiana yet, so I had a little bit of outside help. Harry from Bees Liquor, thank you, buddy. He hooked us up and allowed for this show to be possible.
Yeah, so thanks, Harry. Tell you what, man, I can't wait. We're going to review this Master's Keep bottle, but as you see, we have 4 glasses on the bar top, so that's a little bit odd. We got a little bit of a surprise for you in that. But before we get started, Trent's going to share you a little bit about what we were doing just this last weekend.
So this last weekend, we went down to Wilderness Trail in Danville, Kentucky to do another barrel pick. This time we picked Wilderness Trail. I don't think the camera's going to autofocus, but this is the little 200 ml sample that we got. It is a wheated bourbon, 106 or 8?
8.
108 proof. It is going to be coming out sometime, I think, in early November. And then this week we should have our new riff pick coming out. So if you want to get in on those, patreon.com/slbdrinks, or it's in the description down below. You can check that out. We have some cool stuff going on with patrons. We're doing our patron blind here in the beginning of October. So check out our Patreon. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. But
yeah, lots of neat stuff there. And we're also planning for next year. We're planning several meetups throughout different states,
that as
which
well.
ought to be pretty fun too.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you for all the folks at Wilderness Trail that helped us out with this barrel pick. We had a great time, and I think we picked a pretty good.
We picked a really solid barrel.
It's really nice. It's different than what you would normally taste from Wilderness Trail on a wheated bourbon. So we'll leave it at that.
Yep.
The rest of it will be a surprise.
Yep.
All right, let's get back into what we're doing here, bud. So this Master's Keep, this Unforgotten bottle, there's actually a story to this of why it's called Unforgotten.
Let's hear it.
All right. I have to bring out another bottle in order to do that. Trenton, I don't know how he finds this stuff. No clue. I don't ask questions, though, because what I don't know is probably a good thing.
Yes.
However, he somehow found this 2013 release of Forgiven. This one is batch 302. According to the story of what happened, either an employee or a crew accidentally blended some bourbon and rye together at the Wild Turkey Distillery on accident. Wasn't planned. They were going to just dump it, but then the Russells, they tasted it, and they said, we're not dumping this stuff, it's pretty good. So basically, they took a mistake, bottled it, and sold it under this Forgiven label. Now, I did hear that there was other batches other than this.
Okay, I didn't know
that. I did see that they have like different color, like a darker color on the label or something. I don't really know, but somehow Trenton came up with that. How he came up with that, I have no idea. But supposedly, Trenton, it was 78% a 6-year bourbon, and the rest of it was a 4-year rye that was blended together. So basically, a bourye. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, years later, for this Master's Keep release, they've kind of They kind of have an ode to this particular bottle here. That's why it's called Unforgotten.
That's cool.
So this one is also a bourye. It's a blend of a 13-year bourbon and then an 8- and 9-year-old rye. But then also it is finished in rye casks.
Okay.
So that kind of gives you a little bit of the history of all this here. And so we're going to taste both bottles. I thought that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm going to throw out one caveat on you that you don't even know. I don't think you even know this about me. But I'm really not a huge fan in most part of bourye's.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Not really.
Okay.
To me, a lot of them don't really make sense. It's like, why?
So what you're saying is that this is mine?
I'm not saying that yet. We got to taste them.
Okay.
I'm just saying in general. I think if my memory serves me right, the only bourye that I ever thought was pretty decent that I bought was the High West.
That
bourye.
one is really good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I missed out on that one.
But
I tried it.
For me personally, that doesn't mean it's for everybody else, but just for me personally, it just doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to me.
Gotcha.
I like rye. I like bourbon.
Not mixed.
Not a lot of the times.
Okay.
I'm hoping it's going to be different for this.
Yeah.
So let's get started. Your Glencairn on the right, Trenton, is going to be this Forgiven bottle. Let's start with that.
Okay.
Again, this is a 2013 release.
That's really like cherry forward.
Something like that, yeah.
I get a lot of like a medicinal cherry,
Right.
not like a sweet or anything, like almost like a cough syrupy kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of
Cherry
like
note.
that.
Strange.
Kind of. It
What's
is
the
young.
proof?
It's young. 91 proof.
91 proof. Okay.
It is young. Okay. So it's only a 6-year bourbon and 4-year rye. So keep that in mind.
I like it. It's not like that High West bourye that I tried, and I haven't had this one yet. But this is, I'm a big fan. There's a lot of cherry going on in here, which I personally like a medicinal cherry. I know a lot of people don't really like cherry cough syrup, but that's me all the way. I'm weird, but
I wouldn't say that.
I think. Do we know what MSRP was on this when it was out?
No clue.
Okay.
None whatsoever. And to be honest with you, I don't even know what you paid for this bottle, and I don't think I really want to know.
Yeah, we'll keep that on the DL.
I have no idea.
If I can find how much this was, I'll put it on the screen now.
Now, to me, Trenton, I'm getting like a bright orange note. I don't know if that's the same type of
Palate nose both.
mainly on the palate, right off the bat. And I don't know if
get
that's
like
it's definitely like an artificial bright orange to
Yeah.
me. Not like a nice burnt orange or a nice flavor. It's kind of like you were saying, a medicinal type.
Yeah.
Like an artificial orange flavor.
I gotta be honest though, like there's not many bourries that I can like name right off my noggin or anything. But if this was available today, I'd go out and buy it. But I'm a fan of that medicinal kind of flavor. It's almost like an artificial orange you'd find in like a candy of some sort.
Right, exactly, and that's kind of my predominant note. I think I get a little bit of vanilla after that, and definitely for the rye spice, it's not real spicy. Do you feel?
No.
But there's a little bit of black pepper on the finish. I think
Very
just a little
little,
bit of a tingle. No, you're right. I'm with you on that. Very little, but that's kind of what I relate to as far as the rye. Now, keep in mind, there's only 22% in this blend of a 4-year rye, so not a lot.
Okay.
But still, maybe a little bit of oak. So that's basically what I get. But the predominant note is that medicinal, artificial, what you were speaking to. So I agree.
What do you think though? Thumbs up, thumbs down, kind of
For me?
in betweener?
For me, I'm glad we have it because I love wild turkey, and this
Yeah.
is history for wild turkey. But to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Okay.
To me personally, it's one of those bourries that I would say I don't, it's not bad, but it's not one that I would reach for all the time.
Fair
Just
enough.
doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Okay.
But I thank you because
Yeah.
this is wonderful to have down here. in the
Anytime I
basement.
see any like vintage wild turkey, I don't even do research on it. I see if the price is right, and then
Yeah.
because he's a huge wild turkey fan, and a lot of the stuff like vintage Austin Nichols wild turkey is supposed to be some of the best stuff. So on the off chance that something like this was good, but to be fair though, I didn't know it was a bourye kind of thing.
That's
but
okay.
I was like, I've never
I know
seen
you
this.
didn't. I know you didn't know that. So but I'm gonna love it on the shelf. I really
It's
am.
cool. It's a cool
It's
bottle.
gonna be a wonderful addition to the wild turkey collection. All right, let's move on to this big daddy here, the Master's Keep. Now this one is about $200.
Yeah.
He paid for it. He gave it to me on the last live show, which was just super nice of you to do that, dude. But in my research, its MSRP is like $190 to $200.
So I ended up winning the Master's Keep 1 last year in a raffle. I think that was like $175. So it's gone up about $25, maybe a little bit more depending
Right.
on where you're getting it at.
Sure.
And for a bourye of all things to kind of hit that $200 to go over that $200 cusp is kind of an interesting.
Yeah,
but
we'll talk about that.
I guess we'll see if it's worth it or not.
We'll talk about it. Let's taste it first and see. This is 105 proof, Trent.
So the nose compared to
Wow.
to this one is incredible, dude.
I mean, just putting it to my nose. Now, these glasses have only been sitting 10 or 15 minutes in preparation of doing the show. And if that glass smells that good in 10 minutes,
I get like a cinnamon toast.
Boy, that is just so good. And that's a fantastic trend. I get the sweetest oak note, I think, that I've had in a long time.
And Mom over there, makes the best cinnamon toast.
She does.
And that's like...
She does.
That's like what you get in this right here. Granted, she used to take a bite out of my cinnamon toast every single morning. And I'd say, well, why'd you do that? She'd say, I just want to make sure it wasn't poisonous. Every single morning, without fail. Just take a huge bite out of my toast.
Well, that's what moms do. They look out for you.
Yeah. Unless she was putting poison in it while she was making it. It doesn't quite add up to me. But
you know what? I'm just saying, if I were you, I'd just stop where you're at there, pal.
Yeah. I'm getting looks. That's a wild note right there.
I love it, man. It's a real beautiful sweet oak, little caramel. Maybe way down deep a dark fruit in there somewhere, but that sweet sugary oak is magnificent.
I'm going to let you go first. Take another sip, though.
You know, when I hold it in my mouth that long, it's pretty
better on the
good.
Second sip for me. Maybe a third. My stomach just made a weird noise. The microphone probably picked that up.
You never know about Trenton. You just don't. Buddy, I'm going to have to say, that's the best bourye I've ever had. Ever.
Interesting. I wasn't sure how you were going to feel about it.
That's really good. It is viscous.
Very.
It is creamy, in my opinion. I kept it on the front of my palate for a little while because I really wanted to check on the rye spice there. Definitely some rye spice. It will tingle you up a little bit with some of that rye spice. But I don't really get any like this one had that bright orange artificially.
Yeah.
I get that a lot, that kind of artificial flavors in bourye's. This one to me went straight to the caramel toffees and the baking spices and things of that nature. Really, really a nice sip, honestly.
I don't know if it's just me, but I'm getting like when I drink an old fashioned, I get that little wisp of like an orange in an old fashioned. I'm kind of getting a little bit of that on like the very back palate. It's not overwhelming. It's not artificial. It's not. You have to really kind of search for it.
I can see that. Actually, I didn't pick that on my own, honestly, but with you mentioning it, thinking about it way on the back palate, I can see that for sure. And something like that will come in with that blending of the rye. And I think the big difference here, Trenton, with this Forgiven bottle, you got a 6-year bourbon and a 4-year rye.
Right.
Over here, you got a 13-year bourbon, an 8-year rye, a 9-year rye. And I think really what's bringing this over the top, in my opinion, is it's finished in rye casks as well.
I forgot about that part, yeah.
And it's just a lot of older whiskeys in there too, compared to this one here.
Yeah.
And wow, I think they did a fabulous job blending this. I really, really do. I'm really not a huge fan of bourye's, but boy, that one is. I personally think it's better than the last Master's Keep.
I was just going to say that.
One was good. I mean, I like them all. I really do. Some of them I love a lot. One was, I was hoping they weren't going to go down that downhill run there with some of this stuff, and this came right back up with this one. Really, really good. I'm surprised. I have to admit, I'm surprised because, I'm not a huge bourye fan, but that is really dynamite.
When I brought it home, I was looking at the box and I saw finished in rye cask, and I was like, that's got to be... I was hoping that it wasn't going to be too rye forward because you got a blend of a bourbon and a rye, and then they finish it in a rye cask. Right. So I was hoping that it wasn't going to be too spicy because the proof is 105, so that's not super high. Mm-hmm. But I was hoping it wasn't going to drink like a 115 or a 120 since it was finished in the rye cask. But that's a really nice blend there, I gotta say.
Super, super job on this blend, honestly. You get some of this. I'd be lying if I didn't say you're going to get some of the spice from that rye. You do get a little bit. You get the tingle. But what I don't get is that black pepper or the minty or the artificial orange type fruit flavor that you get from a real high mash bill rye. The older 8 and 9 year ryes, really great stuff, man.
Very good. Yeah. Good job, Russell's. This is solid.
Super, super good. Now, the question Trenton brought up a little bit earlier, $200. I mean, this is 100% a consumer decision. Let's face it, is there any whiskey or is there any new releases coming out in bourbon and whiskey that are worth $200? I mean, really?
To be determined by the consumer.
Right.
But
it's all about the consumer and the customer. For me, I'm really glad I have this bottle. Thank you for getting that for me. Bet. Honestly, that's just really means a lot to me when to have that. I have the rest of them, so it means something to me. And this will last quite a while down here. And so to me, it was worth the $200. Of course, because he paid for it. So it was really worth the $200.
Anything's worth it if it's free.
Right. However, in relative terms, I mean, and being honest in the situation, for some of you folks out there, it's not going to be worth it to you. And I understand that, and I respect that. I have no problem with that. Drink what you like the way you like it. If you have strict budgets in what you buy, whether it's for monetary reasons or just for personal reasons that you're not going to go over that certain amount, it's fine.
Yeah.
Do what you do best and enjoy what you enjoy. For me, I'm going to enjoy that.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I'm really happy with that. I was a little bit stressed because you bought it for me. Well, you bought it for me, and I didn't want to go, I didn't want to put it on a show and go,
hey, they can't all be hitters, dude.
It's another bourye I just don't like. But it is what it is. Yeah. It's really, really good stuff. Really great. Thanks for getting it for me once again. Certainly appreciate it. That's all we have for you today. Thanks all of you for watching. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. You won't miss a single episode of the show. And we just have a lot of fun.
Sometimes. Most of the time, yeah.
I have a lot of fun every time. But, hey, that's just me. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. See you next time right down here with the both of us in a good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.